hero of my cake. Independent leader made a way. I'm the people's voice, hip hip parade. Stuck to my pace, the turtle win the race. There's trophies on trophies, views from the townscape. Change is great, break, then I had to skate. God told me time to go elevate. Chosen child, I'm the champ now, not a featherweight. Man, I'm so blessed, I just meditate. Peace of mind, that's what you get when you out the way.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron with the 4 eyes today. I can't see a bit today. I'm tired. So
it's okay, Ron. That's okay. As long as you can see.
Right.
So we are back here to discuss another episode of BMF. This is episode 4 of this season, titled The Return of the Prodigal Son. But before we jump into the conversation, please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, click that like button. Also, make sure you click that notification bell so you get alerted every time we post. It's got a lot of great content coming your way and you're not going to want to miss it. So do those things. Now we got the house cleaning out the way. I am very excited to talk about this episode because this was a good one. Okay. So when you talk about the return of the prodigal son, right? That's like a Bible story. About the brother that strayed away from the family and he was out doing his thing and eventually returned back, once he righted his wrongs and things like that. So who's the prodigal son in this story? I'm thinking Meech, since he's returning back home from Atlanta.
Yeah. Probably got a lot of prodigal sons in our families too, but I'm not gonna mention that,
Right.
Go.
Yeah. So that's like the big thing this episode is Meech, leaving Atlanta to go back to Detroit. And what's taking him back to Detroit is that Javier, the plug, he's basically telling him that Cena's pilot has this big shipment coming in and into Detroit, and he wants Meech to receive it because he's not too fond of Terry. And I think, after our conversation last week, most people understand why Terry's a little abrasive. And he definitely has his own way of doing things that's way different from Meech.
Yeah, I like. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say you can see by the reception he got when he came.
Yeah.
You see how the fellas flocked to him.
Yeah,
like the king is back and stuff.
Yep.
Because look how T treats them and everything. And you see, T was salty.
He was salty.
Yeah.
He was salty. I mean, quite salty. I was about to throw some pepper on him because that boy was salty. But you know what? But it's always about sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
No matter how much you love each other, it's just this big thing. And when it comes to family, and unfortunately, T has got to understand that everybody loves Meech.
Yeah. And
it's because the way he treats people. And
I was about to say,
he needs to learn that. I think
the energy you put out is what you're going to get back.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And the thing is, T, he wants to run the business his way. And I guess he figures like, okay, Meech, you chose to go to Atlanta. That's your spot. That's your turf. This is my turf. And to see his crew run the Meech like that, they ain't running the Terry like that. As a matter of fact, they were provoking last week.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get it though, because Terry is under a lot of stress. We're going to talk more about some of the stress that he's under in a little bit, but he's also worried about the shipment because the shipment is coming in and they already have suspicion over whether the pilot is a Fed or not. But then add to that the shipment is being brought into this white part of town. And Terry's like, you're going to get hemmed up. He's like, look at you and look at where you're going to be at. And then on top of that, you're going to have all of these drugs with you. Like, that's a huge gamble to take. And, Meech is like super confident. He's like, whatever it is, I'm going to handle it. I got this on lock. And so they get to
Bryant. He knew that Bryant was also watching because he was there. Yeah.
As far as I want to talk about Meech and not having a driver's license. Now, is that because he wants to stay as incognito as possible? So, he doesn't want to get in with the government with a driver's license. So I'm just trying to figure out why this man who does a lot of movement doesn't have a driver's license. But it may be smart not to have one.
I was about to say, it might just be maybe it's a coincidence that he didn't get a driver's license. Terry definitely had to have one because he was doing the limo service.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for me, it just sounds like it's just not a priority for him. He's like,
but,
not only can I stay under the radar, I just don't care, maybe.
But if you get hemmed up without a driver's license and being black,
they'll send you to the bank for that.
You got that right.
Yeah, but when you young and living your life wild and free, you're not thinking that something's gonna happen. You think you're invincible. And sometimes I get that from Meech. Like, he really do think sometimes that he's invincible, especially when he was talking about going to get them drugs in the white part of town. Yeah. And he, like I said, was super confident that nothing was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he was of the mindset, like, I'm going to make this happen regardless. Like he said, proving myself to Loco is priceless. And you can't put an amount on that. So I think once he realized that he wasn't willing to let T handle it, he had to do it himself. So he, I think he just was like, I'm getting this done no matter what the cost is.
He proved that too, because it turns out that they got 10 times more product than they were expecting.
And I started
he had to make some things shake.
And I started to say, can you imagine if T had gone to the pick up that shipment and found out that he had 10 times more product than what they requested? Oh man, he would have had a fit.
Yeah, he would have. He would have. He probably would have freaked out. He might have cussed the pilot out or called them and whatever and stuff. He would have lost his head. And and Meech just rolled with the flow. Like, okay. He thought on his feet.
He showed a lot of composure once that pilot asked to stop and go to the bathroom. And I'm sitting up here looking at the pilot crazy, like, what are you doing now?
Yeah, I got 4 eyes now, so I had at least 2 on the pilot. And I'm thinking, okay, this doesn't look good for me. Didn't look too good. But it played out. I love the way it did.
Oh, yeah, it did. Because, when he walked past the pilots and he was kind of having a conversation. I'm sorry, when the pilot walked past the cops, he was having a conversation with them. And then he came out and it seemed like the cops followed. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. He really said, like, he's a fed. He just ruined everything. Meech about to go to jail. And so, luckily, Bryant got hemmed up because he had been following Meech and was actually kind of threatening to get him caught up. So I'm like,
Meech did that though. He called and he said, I got a plan. He told the pilot and stuff. And then it was good because he's a white pilot.
Yeah. He's gonna fly under the radar.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying when he went in there and he talked to the cops, when Meech was like, you got a problem.
Yep.
What's the call went? The pilot laid it on thick with the white cops because they're like, it was an easy sell. This black guy is following you and stuff.
Yeah.
The tribal, you just trust them to do what they're gonna do.
And he didn't
racially profile.
And he didn't have a shield, so he couldn't prove that he was a cop because he is no longer a cop at this point. So he didn't have a shield. So and then that's all. A gun in the car. I mean, my man is up for a bid, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, how is he gonna get out of this one now? I'm sure he got some friends in high places that can maybe work something out for him. But I'm like, what a coincidence that you out here trying to help your son, and now you doing stuff that's gonna land you in the bing too.
Well, you know what's gonna happen though, because once Henry found out, like the cousin was like, I'm trying to reach Bryant and can't get a hold of him, and she got mad.
Yeah,
and I was like, remember, she's the protection for Kevin,
right?
So what's gonna happen with Kevin? That's what I'm saying. I already said I think something's gonna happen to him.
And this is straight to Bryant.
First, so I'm thinking
the ambulance situation.
Like, yes, like the what's it called went left with the with the ambulance, and now Brian got pinched.
Yeah.
So she probably left his protection, and something might happen to him.
Well, look at it this way. Brian's going in so he can take care of his son himself. So
But his friend is an ex-cop.
I'm just
Brian's going to get out.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, Brian's going to get out.
Yeah, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Jen helps him get out.
I was about to say.
Yeah, once she finds out he's in the bing, I think she'll help him get out.
She's going to help. She's definitely going to help. She's going to help, and if push comes to shove, Blaze, Christopher Duncan's character, because he's an ex-cop and he has political ties. Because he was the one, or Henry was the one that got CPS. As you saw, when they were at the spot, the gambling spot, and Markeisha was trying to make the connection with the judge, she was like, "Oh, judge," So I was like, "See, there's the tie. She was the one that did it."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the other thing with Jen though, because I hear you about helping her. I think she will ultimately help Bryant in his situation because he saved her life.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, she seemed like she wanted to set him straight. And she told him, like, you don't have dirt on me anymore. I've replaced the drugs that got stolen. So you ain't got nothing on me.
Nope. And we wondered why she was taking that too. We had a discussion and a few recaps back. Like,
right.
Why do you think she took the drugs? And that's what it was. She was putting stuff back and getting herself in order. Like, nah, you won't be on that ledge by yourself, sir.
Exactly. So that's why I was like, he really don't have nothing on her no more. But like, it's just his word, against hers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, right.
Not like he lying.
And Jen is also investigating the ambulance situation. She's looking up the guy who bought the ambulance in the first place. And, I think that she's going to trace that back and find out a lot more about what Bryant is currently doing. Well, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I think she'll have some empathy for him because of Kevin and what's happened.
Well, they did knock on Mr. Edwards' door, the gentleman that bought the ambulance. And I mean to tell you, man, Detective Colby is showing me something. Because if she didn't dive over that couch, I mean, she took Superwoman status and dove over that couch and grabbed my boy. I mean, hey, look, I love every minute of it. Show me some more, detective.
To get her hands dirty. She's like,
not at all.
I may have grown up privileged, but I ain't afraid to get my hands dirty.
Yeah. So that was actually funny that you brought that up because I thought that was funny when I seen it. I was like, was that a stunt double or what?
Yeah, I happened so fast, but I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah, that was like a football tackle.
Yeah, it was. What you think about what she said about how she usually gets them to talk with ice cream? I was like, yeah, well, we'll see.
It's a lot more to her. I think we're going to start seeing a lot unfold because every episode I seem to learn something new about her.
Yep, and like more and more of what I see.
I did too. But my thing is though, like when she made that comment, like I'm not afraid of dying and this, that, and the other. I was like, is this foreshadowing? I'm like, is she gonna make it out the season? Because she said it's who knows? She might stick around. But I'm like, she and Jen, I think, are forming this bond. And I was like, what if just as they start really connecting and everything, something happens, she gets caught in a crossfire, the gun battle, whatever. Because she said, I'm gonna pop your cherry, your gun battle cherry, we're gonna do this and that. What if something happens and something happens to her?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think though, I like what she said, because I think if you're gonna be a detective and you're in the streets of, I mean, you're in the trenches, really. And she showed me something when she dove over that couch to get Edward. So she ain't afraid of something. I mean, she's not afraid of dying, she says, but she's not afraid of getting her hands dirty or getting a beat down or beating down for that matter. So I think what it is she's just really showing the kind of resilience you need to be in the position that she's in. So hopefully it's not foreshadowing that she's going to, she'll die, but I do like what I see in here.
I do too.
We'll see. But y'all brought up Markeisha, and I was gonna say, speaking of her, I think as much as she's a home wrecker and a troublemaker for Terry, she definitely gets the MVP for me. She came through, like you said, went to the judge, and initially the judge declined, her request to get the CPS case to go away. But ultimately, she came through and she blackmailed the judge and was like, look, you're going to make this CPS stuff go away. So I think Markeisha can get the game ball for me for that.
No. This is what I'm going to say. This is why I'm going to say that maybe she can get an honorable mention, because it's twofold. It's twofold for me. Okay. She came through, like you said, with the judge. That's good. This is when she lost me. When she said to T, like, Everything is not about Meech. You coming in between the family. They're brothers.
That's true.
And that's why, we saw at the beginning of the season, it started off with them saying that Meech and Terry hadn't talked in 2 years. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, you need to be your own boss. I think that she's going to put the battery in T's back, and she's going to be a huge part of the wedge between T and Meech. Why? And that's why I didn't want to give the game off, because I was like, as much as I'm happy that she handled that for him, I think she's going to be destructive to their relationship.
There's always an ulterior motive for her. So she's not doing it just out of the kindness of her heart. And I think what you just said proves it. I mean, for you to say to T that, he needs to be his own man, he's a boss now, yada, 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 the whole nine.
It ain't all about Meech.
Right. Yeah. She's scripting T. And she's trying to mold him in the manner. And there's always an ulterior motive for her. So no, I can't even give her honorable mention. I can give her something else.
I'm just saying strictly for the fact that she made the CBS.
No, she did it. She did come through.
But you know what? Suppose she hadn't. Now let's just suppose she hadn't, and CBI took the kid. T would be messed up. And one of the things.
CBI, this ain't force.
What did I say?
You talking about force.
Oh,
CBI.
You know what? Miss Mary on Child Protective Service, CPI. I'm sorry. Wrong letter. But anyway.
Forcing them. Tommy ain't taking the kid.
Hey, look. I'm waiting to see Tommy in all this mess. But I met Miss Mary, CPI, not BP.
Yes.
CPS.
Child Protective Services.
Okay. I said I need sleep and I'm tired. My eyes on and my mouth ain't working. So let's try this again. Child Protective Services. Okay. Miss Mary. Had she, let's say she was able to take their T's kid, that would have messed up everything, because Meech was on top of whose fault it is. It's Marquisha's fault. So,
well, it wasn't Marquisha's fault.
It wasn't. But I think had that child had Child Protective Services, CPS, was able to take the child, I think he might have listened to it.
Well, I mean.
Well, you see, he questioned her so soon as LaWanda said it. He did step to her and ask her. And then now Meech said, I ain't gonna lie to you. So that lets you know how Meech feels about her. The family is not riding with her.
They're not riding with her.
None of the family's riding with her. Even Nikki called her a Jezebel.
Right. We need to get to that. I was like, Nikki ethered the whole family.
Emptied the clip at the table like Diana in Ghost.
Yes.
That was a Diana remake. I mean, she spilled the beans on everybody. She left nobody out. I mean, she just went bam, 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 bam.
She was right about everybody.
Yeah.
Most innocent was the baby.
But was she really right? I mean, she was really mostly upset at the fact that Lucille comes home and she's in a house with her boyfriend and some other young lady and her friend, and Mom's comes home and says, no, this is not a brothel. You can't just be setting up shop like that, and sent them on home. I think that's what really fired her off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but you heard what she said. She said to me, she said, I'm paying for everybody else's bad behavior, and Nikki is the only one that's been innocent.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
besides the baby, besides TJ,
but
and LaWanda.
But what else can she expect, though? I mean, if you got 3 or 4 kids, and 2 or 3 of them, go a certain way, and the youngest one you're going to keep close to the vest because you don't want them to travel that way. Mm-hmm. So, and to be perfectly honest, she had no business. Like, she lied to Lucille when she said she was having company come over. She didn't say.
She said it was having friends over. She
was a lie by omission.
Lie by omission, because she didn't say it was a boy. She said she was having friends over.
Exactly. So that's a lie by omission. So.
Well, Charles likes Breeze.
Well, he might like.
Look, we finally got a Breeze. It's just not Breeze from Raising Cane's in the South.
Well, I mean, look, I understand. Even if it were me, I could like the brother, but you know, there we have rules. So I can't have you over the house when there's nobody in there, you know, because we do know that one thing will lead to another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that I like that Meech went to go and have a talk with her after she flamed everybody, you know, because the thing that I think would continue to exacerbate the situation would be for them to invalidate her feelings and try to tell her, like, no, you need to stay in the child's place. But like, no, she's very justified in what she was saying.
She is.
Because she's right. Like, you sitting up here talking about me and thinking I'm gonna get pregnant when you got Terry and Meech out here with all kinds of baby mamas and, you know, girlfriends on the side and stuff like that. She's like, no
drugs.
Yeah.
But is that supposed to validate what she's doing?
But she
hasn't really done anything.
They've been playing video games.
The boy was at the house when nobody
playing video games for a week.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying.
But
what was Lucille supposed? What was Lucille supposed to do?
Look, I'm not saying she's not supposed to check her, but listen, what she said was true. Charles was cheating with Mabel. Lucille is making googly eyes with Dr. Feelgood. Meech and Terry both got kids out of wedlock. Meech got kids by 2 baby mom, both of them drug dealers. Terry is messing with a cougar. You know, so like all the things she said, Darius got killed because of
but all you know what she did.
So they're so busy trying to clamp down on her.
You know what she did. You know what she did. She sniped everybody. She had she made dinner just so she can sniper every single body at the table. That's what she did.
Well, it's a reality check because I think so much they kind of they don't ignore her, but they don't acknowledge her either. And so much of the stuff that's gone on. And I think that it's important for them to realize that she's growing up. She's not a kid no more. Like she is coming of age. And while Lucille might want to keep a tight rein on her, that's fine and well. But also have those conversations that don't just sweep things under the rug.
Look, the most painful wound is the one you put salt on. And that's exactly what she did around the table. She put salt on everybody's wound.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I was a little surprised at Miss Lucille now, because she definitely went to go revisit Dr. Feelgood and got a little touchy-feely, got a little going on.
Wait a minute, she went not once, but
twice. Well, the first time she went to get some contraceptive, contraceptive for.
No, she didn't. She went to fill out the situation.
Oh, she did.
Yeah,
that was it. But she was also going to get the.
That was the excuse, Tiffany.
That was exactly the excuse.
Right. What did Dr. Reese say? Well, how does Charles feel about it? Oh, I wanted to get a professional's opinion first.
Right. Yeah, because that's when she didn't let him know that she was separated. She came back that second visit to let him know that she was separated and stuff.
Because she was breathing hot and heavy when she got home after that first visit, and she was like,
listen, Charles was walking around half naked and lifting weights and stuff. I mean, she is in heat. She's in heat, but she don't want it, you know, because she's still beefing with Charles. She don't want to give him that flame. But she's in heat. She, you know, we have our needs. When she walked away from Charles, when she saw him, she was like, whew.
But, you know, I do like that the doctor, the first time she went to visit him, he kind of like brought up to Lucille that your idea of success is subjective. Because she was kind of like gloating on like, oh, you made something, you're only one from the neighborhood that made something of themselves, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, here Charles over here is your husband, and you kind of putting him down with that statement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I like that the doctor kind of reminded her.
He did. He could have like itched on Charles, and he didn't, because he was like, he was talented and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so he did show love to Charles.
He said life is full of surprises. So you know, we gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And you know what? We might find out a little more about Dr. Feelgood, Mr. Reese, as we go along in this program, because you know, everything that glitters is not
gold. I was thinking that too. I was like, we might find out. Like, there might be a reason why he ain't, you know, hooked up with anybody.
That's
exactly.
Right.
So I did give him some kudos for that he didn't, you know, kick Charles while she was trying to put him down.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, okay, Miss Lucille, you got some little tick marks on my checkbook here for the things.
For the hands.
Yeah, and
I was like, you getting a little handsy, getting out of line.
In our virtual press junket, I asked her about that too, because I did ask her. I said, can you tell me if there's a little fire put up under you with the good doctor? And she kind of embarrassingly said, there is maybe something there. You just got to watch.
It's more than something.
It's a whole lot more.
We also asked Layla Pruitt, that plays Nicole, about her situation too. Yeah. And she also elaborated on that, just saying that, she's growing up and she wants to be treated like that. Like she has she wants to be heard. And, she also found out when she went to Howard, like you, Ron.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't watched that interview yet, make sure you click our interviews playlist and check out that interview from a month ago. So it should be fairly recent.
Yeah, it was last month.
Yeah. So it's fairly recent.
Yeah, we did a press junket with the BMF cast. So it was Meech, Nicole, Nicole Brianna White that plays Miss Lucille. We talked to Detective Jen and Kobe too and stuff, and also Henry
and
King, played by Ren King, and Christopher Duncan that plays Blaze.
Right.
So if you got your notification bells on, you probably already got alerted. But if you don't, now's a good time to click that notification bell so you get alerted when we put more interviews and posts out.
Yep, we got 2 more coming, y'all, too. So be on the lookout.
And the last thing I want to talk about before we start throwing out our summary is Stacks back in Atlanta. Because he was being shysty.
Didn't we say? We had to see on for a reason, right?
Yep.
Well, we already knew.
He's deserving because he's on my list, on my Who Can Get the Hands list this week. Because he has teamed up with Glock. And he seems to think that it's a good idea to start plotting to kill Meech and Remy. Now, he already had it out for Remy. But now he's added Meech to his hit list. And I'm like, wow, that says a whole lot because Meech really tried to show him love. Well, he tried, and he's not receptive. So I'm like, Stacks is a hot mess.
Well, Glock was right to call him an idiot, and he is an idiot because of the fact that here he is trying to set up Meech and Terry, and Glock thinks he's an idiot. So guess who's probably going to be on the out?
Thank you. He's going to be the one that gets off as soon as they think they get. He thinks he's getting what he wants. They're gonna get rid of him because they're like, it's an episode. They steady talking about him. I was like, they're going off Stacks. Meech and them, and not even gonna have to worry about him because they about to get him off the board. Anyway.
Stacks means nothing to Glock. So, if anybody's gonna be off, it's gonna be Stacks.
It's him. Yeah.
And I think Glock is gonna find a way to work with Meech. I think so.
Yeah, and I think it's good that Terry said that he would take a trip down to Atlanta and visit Meech or whatever, because, it's your crew are people that are essentially like migrants from another crew. And loyalties can sway. But having your brother there with you and knowing he's on your team, like that needs to happen for Meech. He needs somebody solid that he can 100% rely on.
Right.
United,
especially when you got snakes like Stacks around.
Stacks, united front. Well, I agree with that. I feel like with T and I'm losing my train of thought because there was something I wanted to say about the T and Meech situation and then going to Atlanta and with Stacks. I'll move on. It'll come back to me.
Okay, Ron, you got something? You look like you wanted to say something.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking with all of this stuff going on between Detroit and Atlanta, I think that Terry could benefit from just some guidance from Meech. Like, I know he probably ain't trying to hear it, but I think that Meech could help him out by, tuning him up and trying to shape him up to be the kind of boss that Meech is. Because Meech is very likable. He knows how to talk and he deals well with the plugs and makes things happen. And so I think that Terry could benefit from a little coaching if he will
If he'll
be
listen.
about
If
it.
he'll listen.
Well,
Yeah,
if he stops watching cartoons and start watching movies, that's what Meech
Yeah.
said. Meech had another great
Because
line.
he doesn't see the big picture.
Yeah,
You know, and that's what
he said. You're
Meech
still
is
watching cartoons while I'm watching movies, and that's that. I think that was so poignant at the time he said it. Well said.
And a lot has changed because in season 1, Terry was kind of like very impressive. Like he seemed to
he's
have
still smart.
Yeah, he's still very smart and he's impressive, but he knew how to maneuver a little bit better with the plugs. I feel like, and I think that he used his brains to his advantage, but it seems like now that life has hit him, he's a lot more he's frazzled a little bit more, and it seems like he's irritable.
Well, because he's worried about what Sterl said, his reputation. That has become more, because the first episode he was so focused on getting back at Saint. That's all he could see. And so he's so worried about being feared and his reputation. And that's what's happening. And then with Markeisha in his ear, he's gonna be worse.
Well, I started to say that he's very it's very complexing for him, because he's got Markeisha, who he loves, we know that, but he also keeps trying to keep Wanda around because of the child. And that's just it's not a mix that he's going to be able to work with very well, obviously, because Wanda is tired.
He playing house. Yeah,
Wanda gonna get sick of it.
But he out here with old girl, like
and so it must be a lot on him to even be able to think of doing stuff like that. It's taxing, and so I can understand why he seems to be uptight and everything, but he's got to get together because he's messing up.
Yeah.
But what about Angel? Because she's back at the house. We see she and Meech got together and stuff. And he told her that she was going to be safe at the house. And I'm not sure because I don't trust Greenie. I feel like something could happen to Angel.
Well,
I think so too. That's still on the table.
And let's look at it this way. That scene, she's putting her things in a box. Not taking them out of a box. She's putting them in a box. That could be a some sort of prophecy as to what she really ultimately plans to do. Because she's traveling light. So as I said, I think she's going to at some point go back to Greenie, and even though she was saying to Terry, in fact, well, suppose while you're gone, he comes after me. Meech. She said to Meech, suppose while you're gone, Greenie comes after me. So you see, Greenie is still in her head. So it's just going to be interesting to see how she either plays up, how she deals with it, because I don't know. There's just something about her that tells me that she's not going to be at Meech's house too long.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, these are some good predictions. And I worry about Terry going down to Atlanta too, just because of all the women. And I'm like, if he whipped and distracted that quick, like he was with Markeisha, them women down there in Atlanta, I mean, they got body yaddy yaddy. Terry could get a little distracted.
Boy.
Yeah, I think all of them are some ladies' men. I mean, Meech and Terry are some ladies' men. So
hey. That
is the devil's playground down there.
It sure is.
Yes. But now I thought about what I was gonna say when Ron said something about Meech, right? He and Glock coming together. Based on that conversation that we had with Bashir, who plays Glock in our interview. I mean, he no spoilers. He didn't give us any spoilers or anything, but he explained to us why he was offended by Meech coming down there. So I don't think that they're gonna work together. I think Meech and Remy are probably gonna end up having to piece up to go against Glock. That's what I think is gonna happen. If they can do that, because the offense is still that Remy killed Ty.
Right.
So
that's not gonna settle well with
the peace. Yeah. So I don't know. It would make sense for he and Glock to get together, but
Glock wants to kill Meech, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens with this meetup, because we know Meech isn't going anywhere. Is it possible that Meech kills Glock?
Or we know money talks.
Well, that's what I say.
Meech is all about saying, like, I'd rather get money together than to have to beef. Yeah, exactly. So what if I cut you in and you not only keep your business, but I bring you more?
Right.
Meech, like we say, he has the gift of gab. He can probably talk Glock into liking him.
Yeah.
Or if not liking him, then at least tolerating him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then saying and then the enemy of my enemy is your friend. And you need to get rid of them, Stacks. Let's get rid of Stacks and we can do business.
Yeah, because with the plug seeing how they went to Meech in the first place because he has a reputation for moving drugs quickly and not being sloppy about it. So now that they've seen that he could move 10 times the product that they were expecting on the fly like that, he might be like, oh, well, let's step things up in Atlanta. We'll take care of anybody that steps in your path for you. So Glock might have to worry about the cartel.
Oh, yeah. No, that's true.
So that's one of my thoughts. I mean, we've had a lot of really good predictions so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing how things go from here because, like we always say, mid-seasons where things start kicking up, it's going to be a lot of action. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of wars, internal and external disputes and stuff like that. So I'm just looking forward to seeing, what else happens and how they tell the story. Because I do think the storytelling in this show is really solid. Yeah, it has a way of keeping you intrigued and engaged into the show. So I'm definitely feeling this season happy that, it's back and doing its thing. And so I'm just looking forward to it. Like I said, you guys got anything else you want to say before we do the game ball and who can get the hands? We can summarize.
No, I'm just waiting to hear what everybody has to say.
Okay. Well, I told y'all I was going to give Markeisha the game ball strictly because she got the CPS off of Terry's back. That's the only reason.
Right. You can give her the game ball, and I'm gonna give her the hands for the Meech comment. For trying to divide two brothers.
Yes, and then I also wanted to give Meech the game ball as well for getting it done. Him and Terry moved that product like it was nothing. So they have been holding true to their name, and standing in what they say, 10 toes down, standing on business.
And I too give Meech the game ball. You know how I feel about Markeisha. And since you're just back with us, Tiara, I'm gonna hold off with my Markeisha statement this week. Next week though, it's all on. So
I said she only got it for that one thing. Everything else she on the hands list for.
Yeah, she does get kudos for that. She does. She did get it done. She just, for me, it was
you like the bad outweighs the good.
And I didn't like the comment because I see where it's going. I see where it's going. It's already friction.
Yeah.
And when you have, especially because us as women, we have the power to, what did I say about the kryptonite? Like we can build a man up or we can tear him down. Look, war has been fought over us. And all you need is a woman in the ear saying, you need to be a boss. You don't need me. Everything is about me. Yeah. Like, I think that she's going to be one of the critical reasons why the two of them fall apart.
I agree.
I think Karl Marx said no greater war had been fought over religion. But I'm trying to remember, was he married? Because he needs to understand. Second to that comment is a woman. So
yeah.
So many, man.
Look, we'll be here all day trying to name them all.
All day.
Ellen Troy, listen, Anthony Cleopatra, we can just so many Adam Eve, sheesh,
down the list.
So I'm just like, okay, T, and T is young, and she's older and stuff, and she knows how to manipulate. Like you heard the judge when he said, Block whatever her husband's name was, wasn't it Block? What's his name? Boom.
Boom.
Mm-hmm. Said he wasn't nothing without Markeisha. So Markeisha she helped him.
Maneuvering in the background.
Yeah, she was in the background doing things. Even the judge recognized that. Yep. So she sees T, and she's like going to help him maneuver and going to boss him up and everything. But she sees, like, she knows the family ain't seeing it for her, and Meech doesn't see it for her. So she's going to drive a wedge between them.
Yep.
Agreed. To close out the hands list, I think I already said that we were going to put Stacks on there. Yep. I'm adding Detective Bryant to the hands list.
Yeah.
Oh, he got cuffs list.
Yeah, he sure did.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely got handled.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all have anybody else y'all want to add to the who can get the hands list?
Henry.
I know I'm gonna go ahead and add Nicole to the no, not to the hands list. I'm gonna add her to the game ball list because she can get the game ball for speaking her mind. She was correct. I think she needed to give everybody a dose of their medicine.
I don't know. You threw your whole family under the bus and backed up and ran over them again.
At least she said it to their face.
Well,
I threw them under the bus. She had a real conversation with them to their face.
She set up a dinner. She set up the whole dinner to do exactly what she did.
When was she gonna get a chance? Meech lives in Atlanta now.
I'm just saying.
He got his own spot.
I'm just saying.
It was no better time than that time to let them know what was up.
A2 Brutus. I'm just saying.
She had to ignore her a lot.
So, Ronald, you saying you want to put her on the hands list?
No. Well, I'm not going to put her on
it. Yeah, do.
I want to put her somewhere between the hands list and.
I don't think she deserves the hands list for speaking her mind.
Telling
them.
But my point is, as children, there are boundaries. Okay, and when you throw your mom look, even if she had spoke just about.
That's hypocrisy going on in that house.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean,
yeah. I hear what you're saying. She threw but she ain't said nothing that Charles and found the check. So Lucille already had a conversation with him. He confronted Lucille about it. Oh, he's
Well, he did. I mean, remember he said
he's always feeling you. So she ain't said nothing that they ain't know. She ain't said nothing that's not already out there. They just thought that she ain't know. They treat her like a baby, and she was letting them know. Like, y'all think I don't know what's going on.
Terry and Meech didn't know anything about what Lucille was up to.
Well, that's all right.
They know now, but they didn't.
I was about to say, because all the dirt needs to come to the light, because everybody walking around there thinking Nicole is a child and that she out here on the path to destruction. Meanwhile, look what they doing. So
what she said was major too to Meech when she said, like, she likes this boy Breeze, but she's scared to have a boyfriend because her last one got killed. That's
trauma.
Major. She should be in counseling. Like, that's major. Her first boyfriend got murdered right in front of her and stuff. So I'm just like, she got a lot of unpacked trauma and stuff too. So that was a cry for help as far as I'm concerned at the table.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And Lucille sent her to her room. It would have been different if it was Monet, because Monet was trying to get to Diane.
Right.
she probably would have choked. She probably choked Nicole out.
That's what I'm saying about not invalidating or ignoring her feelings. Because instead of sending her to her room, they could have all really sat down and had a heart to heart right then and there. Mm-hmm. But they dismissed her. So I'm like, this ain't gonna get no better.
Well, I don't know if they had time for a heart to heart, because she went down the list and she wasn't. I don't even remember her taking a breath. She just blip.
Well, I hope they revisit that conversation and acknowledge some of the wrongs that have been going on, and try to recognize that even though she is underage and she's under their, roof, she is still. I think she's been forced to mature a little bit faster than she would normally do because of what's been going on around her.
That's what
so they have to recognize that they play a part and
They
her
do.
being
Stay
the way she
out.
is.
Stay out of grown folks' business.
Oh,
What happened?
how they dragged her
grown
into
folks'
the
business. The grown folks' business was happening around her. Mabel was a neighbor, and Charles was dealing with the neighbor.
Okay, but I'm
and then
saying
that's why they changed. That's why they changed churches. They changed churches because everybody was already in their business. Everybody knew their business already.
Yeah,
so that's the thing. And you go to school, you know how kids are. Kids probably already know. They already know that Meech and Terry, they already giving her a hard time. They pulling up in the drive-thru at Wendy's talking smack to Lucille.
Yep.
So you don't think that's embarrassing for her to have to,
stay out of grown folks' business.
He ain't in grown folks' business. Grown folks got their business in the street.
I'm saying you keep your mouth shut when it comes to grown folks' issues now. That's all. You just got to keep your mouth shut.
Listen,
that just to me wasn't the right place and the right time. I'm thinking that if you wanted to do that, you could have called a meeting. Say, hey, mom, hey.
That was a meeting.
What it was.
That was a dinner that turned into.
It was a meeting at the dinner table.
I think it was planned. And she knew that was her form of a family meeting. So I'm team Nicole.
And Meech tried to go to her privately afterwards. So I appreciated that he took a step to do his part. He was like, look, I promise to be a better big brother to you. And stuff. Like, so he tried. And then at the end, you saw that him, Nikki, and T were playing video games and stuff. So I saw that as an effort to try to bond.
Rally around her.
I know we got to get out of here, but I'm going to say this. I'm only shutting up, but I'm not conceding. Okay.
That usually is how it is.
That's how it is.
Well, we ain't had a good row in a while, so
right. So I don't know, viewers out there, let us know your thoughts on this situation. How did y'all feel about Nicole and her bombing the entire family? Was she in the right? Was she in the wrong? Was she in the middle somewhere? Let us know what you think. But this was good. I really enjoyed our conversation today. Glad to rejoin y'all again. I'm gonna be a little spotty on my attendance, here and there, trying to get adjusted to mom life. But I'm happy to pop in whenever I can, and I love talking with y'all. Glad to be, back on for a second week in a row. So let's see if we can keep the ball rolling on this.
Right.
So thanks again for watching. Please make sure you drop down in the comment section, give us your thoughts on the episode. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel, click the like button, the notification bell, check out our interviews playlist, and also make sure you follow us on social media. We are on all major platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and all of them, X, what they call it now. So yeah, go ahead and give us a follow there as well. You guys got anything else before we close out?
No, I'm done.
Okay. Well, on that note, we are going to call it a night and be back here next week as we recap episode 5 of this season's BMF.
There you go.
So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my clock, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my clock, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play?
Meech.